different C-Rod this week now that he's back out there, a little extra energy?
I mean, no, he's been bringing it the last handful of weeks. He's been out here working with us. So he's the same old C-Rod. I think he's definitely taken his preparation up to a new level, knowing that he's playing this week and there's a game plan that he has to focus on seriously now. But I mean, he's an electric playmaker that we're excited to have back.
Do you want to remind him not to try to do too much, not to save it or whatever?
He's a good enough player to know what his limits are and how to practice, how to play. So I think everyone just kind of lets him do his own thing, and they know good things will happen.
Coach Figueroa was talking about earlier that in the preseason he had all sorts of different packages with Chris and Juton and all the running backs. He hasn't been able to show any of that. Do you think you'll be able to see a lot of that this weekend, and what does that do for you as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna operate the same way regardless of who's in there. But I mean, it's up to him and the coaches to put the guys in the right concepts necessary to let it play out as best as possible. And I know that we have trust in all of our running backs, but we know that Chris is really good at certain things in the run game and in the pass game that we're excited to use him for. So, I mean, I'm doing the same thing regardless of who's in there, but just making sure I'm getting the ball to who needs to get it.
What are those things that he's exceptionally good at, Chris?
I mean, I'm just his vision in the run game. I think there's certain concepts that just he can kind of see blocks and set up blocks before they happen, and that just comes with experience and just his cognitive ability to just understand defenses, and it's cool to watch just to kind of see him make moves before anyone else would see them there. And I mean, he's not like the shiftiest dude, but like he just makes stuff happen, and just can't really explain it. It's cool to see.
That touchdown in the bowl game was a broken play, the game-winning touchdown, right? It wasn't the right way. What's that do for your kind of just everybody's energy level when he does something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare that he doesn't make the first one, doesn't break the first one or make the first one miss. So I mean, when you're in situations like that where you think the play may be broken, it could be a positive, even game-winning play with a guy like that. So it's just a matter of getting the ball in his hands whenever we can.
I know it's not the same team as last year, but have you picked Kedron or Jacquez's brain about any of the guys you're going to be facing this week?
Me, Jacquez, and the quarterbacks, and Kedron were all up in the tight ends room last night watching film together, just kind of talking about which guys are kind of their tendencies or what kind of coverages they're doing. Some of the stuff they're doing is a little different than when Kedron was there. Jacquez even further behind, so he was able to help us a lot just with kind of how their safeties play and what to expect. So it's cool to have that on the team.
Is there a guy on tape that you have to always be aware of?
No, I think that all their guys in the secondary are pretty good. They got a good leg. I mean, both their safeties are good players. I know number 3 is going to be out for the first half. He's kind of our run support dude and is pretty good in pass coverage as well. But it's good that he won't be in for the first half, so we got to take advantage of that. But he's a good player, and they got athleticism and size up front. But I just think that as long as we stick to our game plan, we'll be able to do what we think we can.
Well, we've seen so many receivers, even a few tight ends, running backs a little bit, get involved in the passing game, catching passes. How important is it to you going into the bulk of the schedule, knowing you have so many guys you can trust out there?
It's really important. It means that we don't have to kind of get our guys gassed. You know, it's a matter of keeping guys fresh and putting guys in there for premier plays, and then putting another guy in there for the next play for another shot that we can trust. So it's great to have depth, and I think that there's been a handful of guys that have proven to the coaches that they're able to make those plays for us, and it's just up to the coaches to kind of create a game plan that isn't too focused on one guy or another, rather just uses all of our weapons to the best of our ability.
Bates was talking about how they like to flex their ability as pass catchers, but they're also really trying to help with pass protection. Obviously, that's been a thing with the 16 sacks. So how do they kind of help contribute to that, with it not just being about the 5 O-linemen, but then trying to help in pass protection too?
Yeah, I mean, they're not involved in every pass protection. It's just a matter of what the play is, if it's a 6-man or a 7-man play action, what have you. It's just doing their job, and it's a big help for when we have those plays drawn up where they're able to help in protection. Makes the O-line's job a lot easier, even if it's just chipping and getting out or staying in protection. Just think the concepts and the plays that we have had them do those things, it's when the pockets felt really secure, and we just got to keep getting better at it and keep trusting them to know their responsibilities in the protection game, as well as it's not as fancy, it's not as fun as going out and catching passes, but they understand that it's as important as anything else they do.
It obviously depends on the play, but does it give you any more comfort knowing that you have a sixth blocker? I mean, versus having that extra receiver. It depends on the play, but just in general, is it nice to know you're going to get a little extra time?
Yeah, it's nice. I think that a lot of those type of plays too, those are kind of our shot plays too. So looking forward to having that extra second if needed to let it develop a little more. So I think it definitely is a sense of security.
Well, Northern brought the house all night long, and Rich was saying he hopes people keep doing that against you. You all have talked about that. What kind of things do you talk about when you talk about teams that want to blitz you all the time?
Yeah, we talk about just using it to our advantage. We want them to bring 5. We want them to bring 6 because it just opens up holes in the defense. And as long as our protection and our assignments are are locked up and are on the same page as everyone else in the line and with me and the running backs, then each play we have should have a designated answer. Sometimes I might miss those answers. There's one play to Bates over the middle that someone came on the inside and I put it on him and ended up getting broken up. But there was a much easier answer on an outbreaker like Tavion could have hit. And it's just a matter of getting better at understanding those situations and knowing that when those situations come, you can't really react. You kind of have to know where your answers are going to be before they're even there. So game plan by game plan, it changes, and I just got to get better at helping my O-line by getting the ball out easier. And I think we did a great job of that for most of the game on Saturday, on third down especially.
How do you feel like you've played to this point? I mean,
think-
Coach talked about sometimes you're your own toughest critic. How do you feel like you've played?
Yeah, I definitely am, and I think I've played well, but definitely a lot of room for improvement. I think decision-making wise and just how I'm seeing things, it's on it's a higher level than it was last year. I'm not kind of guessing where I'm going before the play happens. I'm seeing the defense and I'm getting through progressions and completing a lot of passes. And I think most of my completions are either throwaways, drops, or what have you. So I mean, I'm making good decisions. I'm putting the ball in play. Some throws, obviously, a few a game that I'd like to get back, but I mean that's going to happen as a quarterback. But I know I can do better, and I'm just striving to get better each and every day out here and each game.
You talked about Chris helping, obviously, as a runner, but in pass protection, USA is a guy who really takes a lot of pride in that. What do you see out of him as a blocker and helping protect you?
Yeah, I mean, you see him run the ball, you know he's physical, and he's just like that in pass protection too. It's not fun when a guy's coming free and he has to meet Chris in the backfield. When he knows his stuff and he's on it in the pass protection game, which he was all of last year and which we know he will be from here on out. He's an asset for us where defenses know that it's not going to be easy to get around him, and he takes pride in that for sure.
Last question.
Rich was just talking about how occasionally he calls a run play or something that he knows maybe he's not going to go anywhere, but it's because it's going to set up something later in the game. As a quarterback, how much do you kind of embrace that kind of chess match part of all of this, seeing how those are developing throughout the game?
It's really important. I mean, that's the game within the game. You know, like you obviously want to draw up every run play to be successful, but sometimes there's a ulterior motive behind it, like you said. And I get excited when those run calls get called in the game because I know that a couple drives later, that shot might be coming. And that's not always the case. You got to keep the defense on their toes so that they know that that's not always going to be the same kind of deal when that formation or whatever comes out. But that side of things is one that I've been able to learn a lot more of this year from him, and I really like how his mind works like that.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, guys.